Whoa. Hello there, fellow modellers. Steve here. And about, well, 2.5 hours ago, I've just got back from Telford. 4.5 hour train journey. Fell asleep on the train, but I'm a bit awake now. And I've just been looking at the Facebook page what Michael James put up. Hi there, Michael. Great to meet you. Pity you didn't see me work. I've seen a bit of yours, but I don't know which one was yours. But we never met up again. But we did on Saturday, so it's coming along anyway. Right, so me stash. Well, I've went a bit overboard, like a canny bit. I had a suitcase packed. Well, the suitcase had me stuff in, me clothes and all that. That was packed, and I had 2 bags packed. Plus I had to bring me kits home, so I'm alright. Right, so we'll start off with what I've got. Or what haven't I got? It was a great show, fantastic weekend, met a lot of people, glad to have met you all. But I'll put yours on your Facebook anyway. I might do a YouTube photo run of the photos I took, because most of them were, I took the first ones up in the competition area, and then I started, because the Saturday I just spent buying kits, talking to people and whatnot. So we'll start off with first. Now that, I took that down to Telford with the idea of possibly doing a bit when I had spare time, but I didn't have any spare time, so I've never started it. So that's probably to be started. I want to get that done anyway. Right, now probably the last thing I bought was this, which was from, I don't know who it was from, and it's a Viper Mark II from Battlestar Galactica. Now according to the guy, you could either make the Mark 1 or the Mark II, but I plan on doing this in US Navy markings, just for a bit of sideline, because I've seen a few people on YouTube do the Angel Interceptors out of Captain Scarlet in RAF markings. There's been a video on Facebook of one of the X-Fighters of Star Wars being launched from an aircraft carrier. So I thought, that's alright, and I looked about it, and it was reduced from 30 quid to 20 quid, so it was okay, and it looks a fairly brand new kit anyway, so I don't know when I'll get that started, but that is what I've got in mind for that, because I bought well, I'll show you in a minute, a plenty of stash of spare United States Navy markings for another project that I'm doing. So that's that. And this one I picked up because I've never actually made one of these, and this was out of the kit swap. Douglas Sky Raider, made by Hobbycraft. Now I don't know whether this is an old model or what, but I got it for £5 out of the kit swap, which was a good bargain, and it looks good inside. But I've taped everything up for when I was coming back, so I'm not going to open it now. That's a Douglas Sky Raider, and I've never actually made one of them. There's something else I picked up. This was £5. One of the What Ifs, a Focke-Wulf TL Jaeger Flitzer, whatever that means. Now I've read this, and it was made into a wooden prototype around 1943, but it was one of them, as there's a lad in our club there, Willie, he does Luftwaffe 46, things that never got off the drawing board, and half of them is just way out of this. This was abandoned about 1944 to concentrate on the ME-262, the 162 and the Aradu 234. So that's just a what if. And this one I picked up, I've never actually made one of these either, which is a Brewster Buffalo, and this was 6 quid, 1/48 scale. And to erase, to help with packing, inside it, as it's got there, is an Airfix Sea King that I got. Now I've been after one of these for years, because I made one of these when I was a kid, of not the Westland Sea King that's in the search and rescue colours. This is the one that's in the US Navy colours that assisted with the Mercury and Apollo recovery missions. So that'll be interesting to build that. And this is one of the early US Navy fighters. I think it was one of the first monoplane fighters. As you can see, it is inherited from a biplane design. Short stubby fuselage. I think it was probably obsolete by the time of Pearl Harbor. But it's a very colourful scheme as well. You get two schemes. One is VF3 from the USS Saratoga, and the other one is VF2 from the USS Lexington. And half of it has been started. I think that's why it was reduced. It's going to be an interesting build. This one, where did I get this? Was £5. I forget where I got this from. This is a Blackburn Buccaneer. One's the old frog kit. Everything's inside. I've had a look at them all. As I spent me before I got my dinner, I was looking through these after I've had a shower when I was at Telford, and I wanted to build in the South African Air Force markings. Now the decals look okay for it being an ancient kit. Because I've got a Buccaneer in Royal Navy markings somewhere, and I'm actually doing a Buccaneer that's a test that was used for test flying, but that's coming along. So that's another thing that I picked up. And when I'm going to build all these. Something else that I picked up that I've never actually done, which was this. Bang. 1957 Chevy Corvette. And one of the lads in our model club, he builds cars. And he was saying, he says, "Oh, you've actually built a car." I says, "Oh, I'll give it a go." And he looked inside. This was the one I got, was the 55 one. And he says, "Well, the bodywork isn't that. It was a long streamlined modern day version." So I took it back. It was from Kits for Cash. And he was okay about it, and he says, "Oh, somebody should probably put it in." And me and John went up to have a look at the competition area. I says, "I'll come back down." He says, "Oh, fair enough." And I found this, and I says, "Can you swap it?" He says, "Oh, fair enough." So great. And that was, oh god, I can't remember how much that was. But it'd be interesting to do this because I've never built a car. And I've got the spray paint for it as well. A really wild colour. And this is something that's, it's a Nakajima Oscar from Hasegawa. This was, well, it's got 135 on, but it wasn't 135. It was 7, and that was out of the kit swap. Japanese Army fighter plane. I've never built one of these before. It'd be interesting to try the camouflage with the Japanese fighters. Always had loads of metal, like scorched marks, really well worn. So it'll be interesting to build that. And this is something else that I seem to have a passion for at the moment, which is F-18 Hornets. And I've got 3 kits here, and I might have another one in there somewhere. That was £10. Airfix 1. I'm holding them away now. This one was, I can't remember how much this one, I think it was a £5. An Italeri F-18 Hornet. And this one, which is another Hasegawa kit, an F-18 Hornet. It was one of the first kits I bought at Telford in the markings of blue engines, but I don't want the markings because they're damaged anyway. I'm making these in United States Navy squadrons. This is something that I've got a passion for at the moment. And this one, I picked this up at the kit swap as well. The de Havilland Sea Venom from Nova, which is basically a remodelled frog. And I hope that all the bits are there because it was all packaged up. So that's out of getting messages on my phone here off people. That's out of the first carrier bag. Now I've bought a load of the Tamiya spray paint here. Right. That's a dark green and a dark earth, which I'm going to use for the upper camouflage on me Hampton, which I explained to Michael that I haven't got it finished yet, and he says, oh, just put a couple of pictures up when you've got it finished. And I wanted a black, so I've got a black there. And this is an olive drab for a 124 scale Mustang that I'm planning to build. And this one is wooden deck tan, which is for me HMS Iron Duke. And this is, where is it? This is what the Corvette will be. It's not red, it's a metallic green. So that should be good. Something else that I picked up, which was 10 quid originally, but it was reduced to 1, which is like texture paint, grass effect. I've never actually had a look to see what it's like, rather than buy the felt sheets you can buy, or use the PVA glue with the grass and spread it on. Try that and see how that goes. And that was it for carrier bag 1. Now carrier bag 2. Another F18 Hornet. That was 5 quid, which is exactly the same make as the one I've got down there, but I want it to use with something else. I've got a box full of Hornets. This one is a KA6D tanker intruder, the tanker version. I think I got that at the kit swap as well. That was on the Sunday. So that'll be interesting. The tanker version. Colourful United States Navy markings. And this one is a Lockheed Hudson, which I got for 6 quid, and it was originally $13.99. Now I don't know what I'll do with that, but inside is like the other one, to aid packing, there's a Fairy Firefly, the old Airfix model, which I got for about £3 I think. So that'll be an interesting kit to make. I remember making one of them years ago. This is the new kit of Curtis P40B Warhawk 1/48th scale. Now I was talking to one of the guys on one of the clubs, and he's actually built one of these, and it was on show, and he said it was just a fantastic kit to build. It just went together as though it was a snap-on kit. No problem with it at all. You get the option of either, it was Second Lieutenant George Welsh, who was one of the 2 pilots that took off in the Pearl Harbor attack, and the other one is obviously a Flying Tiger Squadron. Now I don't know which one I'm going to build with him, and I've had a look inside and it looks brilliant. Another F18 Hornet, which I'll use for another United States Navy markings, or possibly something else. I think I must have about 5 Hornet kits. Oh, they've all fell down now. And this is something, a MiG-29 that I've got planned. It's for oh god, what's he called? Ian Poulton, I think it is. It's not making models, it's models again, or Airfix Modeler. He's doing a MiG group build for next year, and I'm going to do one of them in Indian Navy markings. But I was talking to, it was on the MiG stand, she runs the MiG stand because I put one of my MiGs on, and she says that I was going to put one of them. She says, well, there's a difference between it. You can put the hook on, but the canopy's a bit different and the wings are longer. But she was saying if you fold the wings, nobody's going to notice. So I'll have to have a look on the internet to get some photos of it. It's a MiG-29K that the Indian Navy use. So that'll be an interesting one to do that. And this one, a very old kit. This is 1/144th scale, a P3A Orion. Orion the Mighty Hunter. And it hasn't got any windows in because it's an old kit. So I might put some of that decal fix stuff in. No, not decal fix, clear what you glue canopies down with to make a canopy. So that should be, I don't know what I'll do with that though. And the last kit I've got, which is another Japanese aircraft. This is a Nakajima Frank. I think this is a US Navy fighter or an Army fighter. I got that for £6. A couple of Japanese fighters. Right, I've got the markings here. I've got quite a bit of markings. Right. Start with a back. F-14 Tomcat markings. Not particularly the low visibility ones, but it's the VF-102, the Diamondbacks, colourful, which is one I like. And that is P3 Orion markings. Now I was thinking of using them on the P3 kit, but this, I think this is for 1/72nd scale, so they might be a bit big. So I'll have to see how that goes. That's for A6A and A6E intruders. So I've got a couple of kits of them, colourful markings. This is an F4 and A6E markings. I like them there. I think they're the, what is it? The intruder. No, that's the same as them. But I can always use them because them's for the F4, I think. More fighter markings. This one is for A7E in Corsairs, and I got it because of that, the sidewinders. Because I remember seeing them. They were part of the air wing of the Final Countdown, and I like that design with the sidewinder. And there's also the Stingers and the Swordsman. And this one is for F4J and A7E. Colourful markings there. I could have bought a load of them, but I had to curtail me spending, so they'll be used for the Hornet. And this Sea Vixen, I've got a couple of Sea Vixen kits. I could use them there, or use them for miscellaneous Royal Navy Squadron Hornets like I did with my first one. And that's actually for a Hornet Squadron, VFA 82, which is the Marauders. And you can see how colourful that is. Splash of colour. Tomcats. Anytime Baby, I don't know what squadron, I think that's VF32, I think, were the top hatters, and that's the Felix. I don't know what squadron they were. It might have it on it, should have it on here. Obviously I'll use more colourful stars and bars, but the design is there. And I got this, it's lots of Royal Navy markings, but also got Australian markings, because I could use them to do an Australian Air Force Orion. Now I bought this, another Hornets, but I realised it's for 114 Squadron, and it's the celebration of, I think it's 3 wing of 425 Squadron Royal Canadian Air Force. So I might have to look on the internet. There was some there, but I never thought of buying them, to get a 114 scale, smaller one. That one, Australian Navy markings, Royal Canadian Navy markings, and there's also, this is for a Sea Fury. I like the colour of that. I've got a couple of old Sea Fury kits where I can use. This was Canberra's. Now I asked the guy if these were for 1/72 scale because they look really big, but you see how thick the Canberra wing is. I think they'll fit, and I could do it in, there's a couple of Royal Australian Navy schemes there, because I've got a Revel Canberra kit. More, this is for hunters, hawker hunters. You've got Indian, Iraq, Jordanian, Syrian, because I've got a hunter from Matchbox. I could do it in the Royal Jordanian Air Force. I could use them for the Indian Navy markings for the MiG, so they'll come in handy. And there's more Australian Navy markings, and another markings for the F4. And there's a couple of mask kits for a 1/48 scale P40E, which I have got, and a 1/72 scale GU87 Stuka, which I've got. So I really went to town on markings there. And the last two ones I've got, which I had a parcel up because they were really, the boxes were squashed, and which is this one, which is the Airfix 1/48 scale Kitty Hawk Mark 1A. I wanted a 1/48 scale because I've got the markings for the one with the big skull on the engine cowl, and I plan on doing it like that. This one has two sets. I think it's Royal Air Force and Royal Australian Air Force. And that was all squashed. That actually went in the case because I didn't want the bits to fall out. And this was something that I picked up at the kit swap. And as you can see, another Hornet kit. Well, this is a Navy Firepower. It's got a Tomcat in, another Hornet, and a Lynx helicopter. And you get decals for the 3 of them. And you can use the ones for the Tomcat, but the Hornet one, I mean, that looks really colourful, but I've got more colourful ones in there, and I had to tape all that because the box was in the right state, and I think I got that for, oh god, I can't remember, oh, 10 quid, so that was a bargain. So that's me haul from Telford. There's no way I'm going to put them all. I'll find somewhere anyway. Right, so that's me haul. I'll probably put this on the YouTube either today, because this is Monday, I'm taping it now, and today, or it'll probably be on tomorrow. Oh, something else I got as well. When I was in the kit swap, when you waited ages in the queue, there was the table with all the built models on. Modellers who'd passed away and to pass on to give them a good home, as long as you put something in the charity box, which I did. And I found this, well, the wings are in somewhere else, but I didn't want it for the wings. It's an F111. Now I bought a kit of a mate of mine, and the fin was missing, so I seen that and I thought, ah, right, so I've got the fin for that kit now. I don't know whether this is the EF111, which was the Raven, so I could make it into that anyway. So that was another bargain. And I also bought one of these. It's in a box somewhere. Another one of them sharp saws, and about 4 brushes, which I was in dire need of. So that's my haul for from Telford. Now I'll probably do another video probably next week to tell you how far I've gone on with my builds, because I've got 1, 2, I think I've got 3 or 4 builds that I've finished that need to be shown on YouTube. They've been on my Facebook page, but it's not a question of, it's about a question of me with them there describing how I did them, what they're meant to be and whatnot. But so that's me done for now. I'm going to tidy this up and then go downstairs and get something to eat because I'm hungry. So that's my last video from Telford. Like I say again, great time meeting all you fellow modellers there, and it was a good show. The competition was great, and I sorted out a slideshow of the photos that I took. So happy modelling all you guys out there in YouTube land, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye now.